Because guess what? What has every major crime bill that's gotten this far been? A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic crime bill. That's the secret. A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops.
I guess in the end that it's just a crapshoot. Who denounces the true you versus who backs you? Knowing you would skin the poor to make a tracksuit. Knowing you'd begin a few wars if your overlords asked you. Knowing that the ink's not dry on the last few. And knowing that your voters aren't living in a goddamn vacuum. We see through you, Joe, we see past you. Joe, we know you only want to kick trans folks out the bathrooms. Spittle up some dreck about family values.
That's the secret.
Take away our weed and then say that we just need Valium. Joe Biden, patron saint of Big Pharma, knows no karma, and all of our media paints him as valiant. Well, I'm here to tell you the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions. A dead battalion. Eyes blood red with a lust for the violence of racial injustice.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. And it's maybe not a song you would dance to, but something of substance. Something in place that can warn you when liberals lie while they're looking you straight in the eye and they say you can trust us.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. Maybe you didn't get what I meant. This is not a political event. It's the winter of our discontent. Half of us will not make rent. I might burn my masters just to keep warm. Big white lies. No silver lining under smoke gray skies. And all of the streets ran red, but the blood sure kept our feet warm. So vote for the wolf in sheep form. Defund police before we're all deformed. Take our free speech, we'll speak in the tongues of C4. Our lungs need more to send us packing than tear gas thrown from the hands of fascists who killed their cams and take off their badges, all while Biden and Kamala fund our assassins and offer us nothing but platitudes. They'll tell us go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes. Well, Joe, fuck you to death and the donors you fed us to. Go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes.
A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops.
All right, hopefully you can hear us. Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday night. It's every other Tuesday, and it is American tradition, and I've been looking so forward to this. And this is Indy, of course. Hi. And I got this guy next to me. He's Jesse. Say hi, Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
I knew you were going to pull it.
I got jokes, just so everyone's aware. I got jokes. So.
Well, we're two dads who got dad jokes. That's right. So we are live on the INN Rockfin for the first time. So shout out to Rockfin,
right.
Rockfin.com/INN, Rockfin.com/INN. It's such an easy thing to remember, and tell all your friends. Rockfin.com/INN. It's free. And we're here. And
we got Charlie Mack.
we got Cynic, we got Colin.
And we're uncensored, and we are raw, and we are ready
We
to
are.
take on Sleepy Joe.
Ready to earn that YouTube strike tonight.
Our friend, oh yeah, we're gonna get a content strike for sure. We're gonna have the NSA after us, and we're gonna be screaming "Let's go, Brandon" for about 6 weeks from here. So, I am super excited to talk about some Brandon. We want to roast some Brandon, and we're gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, I just got back from Florida and I saw my fair share of "Let's Go Brandon" flags and shirts and truck wraps and fucking you name it.
and I did that. We did that. I did that thing, right? On the gas pumps. I love the little stickers.
I didn't see any of those actually.
Oh, those are pretty funny actually.
Which maybe it's because the gas was like $1 cheaper down there, and then on my drive back up to Michigan, like every gas stop is just worse and worse and worse, and then suddenly it's like fucking it's $5.60. So
yes,
we got some cool stuff going on up here.
Painful, absolutely painful. Yeah, it's $100 to fill my tank. That's what everybody's dealing with right now.
I actually also came back to Michigan to a couple of days heat wave. So we've got like God, what is it? It's probably like 91 outside right now still.
Oh my God.
It's 10 o'clock at night, 10 after 10. Yeah, it was 96 today, gonna be 93 tomorrow. I'm like, all right, I guess. If you must. It's still not humid, so it's still nothing like Florida. So I still go outside and I'm like, but it's not like just a fucking wet blanket on you. But downside,
gross.
there are like hardly any wrangleable animals here, and I totally got to wrangle a snake while I was in Florida. So now I'm like looking for shit to wrangle, and there's just turkeys, and they could kick my ass. So I'm not trying to mess with them.
Turkeys, yeah, we get those wild turkeys in my front yard, and those things, yeah, they get pretty vicious and they're loud.
Yeah.
Nice.
We had a gang of about 16 or 17 that used to just patrol the streets last year. And yeah, I never knew that they roosted in trees until one night I watched them just fly up into trees. And that one episode of WKRP Cincinnati really ruined my perception of turkeys' ability to fly. And it turns out they can.
Wow. I was not really aware of that.
Shout out to WKRP people.
Howard
In the
Hessman.
chat.
I'm old.
So
yeah, we're old.
Indy knows what I'm talking about.
A little bit. A little bit. So everybody can hear Jesse well. Yeah. They can hear me well. I just want to make sure we're good there. I think that we're good on the audio, which means we had a smooth start. Good. That was pretty good. Again, we are live on Indie News Network, INN. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Odyssey. We are on Rockfin. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere that you want to be. And everybody, please share this out. Let everybody know that we are live and get in here because we're going to have some fun. And I'm looking at a lineup here of 7 pieces that Jesse's prepared, 7 or even maybe 8. And 8 pieces.
It was 10. I trimmed it down to 8.
I see 8 there. Yeah, I can't count because,
And I think 4 of these I've never done live before. So
it's going to be good times. Yeah. Good times. I can't wait. So tell me, so tonight I got to put the thumbnail up for a second. Hang on. You know what? I didn't load the thumbnail.
Oh my God. Crab is literally, and I told him it's some AI. It's like an AI program where I just put a sentence in and he makes this amazing subversive artwork. I literally just said the title and he gives me this. I'm like, God damn, what can't you do, Greg?
How? Okay, so I'm gonna put this up, and I'm gonna
blow it up.
Not there. I'm gonna put this on presenter mode, and I'll put this on full screen.
What's crazy, and zoom to fit. No one's gonna believe me, and that's fine. But when I told him Great White Grope, the first thing I pictured him doing was a Joe Biden shark sniffing a child, and then I literally see that with the dorsal fin coming out of his head. It's like 1,000,000 times better than what I had pictured. But again, it's like something that reads my mind and just makes the most perfect shit. I can't even handle it. It's so good.
It is. Just...
It gets
incredible.
Harder and harder to pick my favorite now that there's 4 of them. Like the Nancy Pelosi Stockholm Party one has been a favorite, but this might have ousted it.
Who's he sniffing? Is that Amy Coney Barrett? Is that the Supreme Court Justice?
No,
Oh
I thought it was that. I can't remember who it was.
It might have been the one who was being.
That's an older sniff.
Oof, that's just
cringe
upon cringe. So good,
bad.
so good. Oh, Craig, you outdid yourself for sure. So,
yep.
We're gonna have
just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Oh my god. I'm sure another one of our INN members is certainly gonna have nightmares from that tonight.
So yeah, we're getting into Joe tonight,
and you wrote a song. You wrote a song all about that. You know, I almost want to want an impromptu version of that, but that'll make me cry, and I don't want to make you do that tonight. But yeah, that would be awesome too. But we have a huge we're gonna be here a while because this is a good lineup, and you guys are gonna have a blast, and we're gonna hear some things we never heard before. So I'm excited to do that. Let's get moving, man. Let's get moving.
Yeah. Okay. So tonight, I'm really gonna start from the beginning, and kind of go through from actually the first piece that I did, that kind of started all this political stuff, which is Town Hall, and from there, I was listening to The Virus the other day, and there were a few songs on there that I hadn't heard in quite a while. And both of them talking about when I realized, like, holy shit, they're going to push Biden on us. That's what we're going to be stuck with, And I wanted tonight to go from that through kind of chronologically, everything I've done, some of the core Biden pieces. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, there's a few things tonight that I've never done. One piece that I've never done a spoken word version of, and I'm including some of the samples. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into it. We got 3 songs, 5 spoken word pieces. So yeah, this is Town Hall, which was the first song off of The Virus, and really the song I wrote that I first came to Twitter with and found so many people that I'm still super close with now, and seeing people relate to that song when that was really just for Jesse, that was still the feeling that I get to have every time someone connects with one of these. It's like me putting precisely what I think and want to say down. And if someone connects with it, it just, it forms some of the closest friendships I've had in my life, with people that I've still not met in person. And when you do, it's very special to anyone that's gotten to meet another one of us. I don't know, we don't get to have many real life friends that share our political beliefs, and it's like a fucking unicorn. And when you do, it's tremendous. So we'll kick this off with Town Hall, and this is for really everybody that's kind of stuck with me for so long. And had I not gotten the response I'd gotten for the song, I probably wouldn't have done but a couple more, and that would have been it. So here we go. This is Town Hall.
In these days of global disaster, all the money disappears with the fame. I'll say what I want, then burn my masters. And I suggest you do the same. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Laying down. Alright, I won't name names, so we won't call legal. We'll call him Bo Jiden, and he killed Glass-Steagall. He's on the trail, off the rails, profits over people. But I won't call him a Nazi, cause I haven't seen his eagle. But I have seen his equal, and he just left the White House. I've seen his equal, and she lost the fight twice now. I've seen the evil of a man who'd shake the hands of workers, knowing they've been slaving for a feeble wage and little purpose, all to keep afloat his bloated lifestyle. All to keep us focused on our phones in the meanwhile. If I'm a broken record, this has been a time trial, but I will not go quietly into the future I'm supposed to hand to my child. I will not politely hold my tongue when I see voters in the web of suppression. So I'm about to burn the list of things we shouldn't mention. Alzheimer's causes bouts of both confusion and aggression. Sentences that fall apart and paper-thin patience. Well, I have not spent the past 4 years practicing critiques only to need them for the next administration. And a part of me would love to vote for Trump to really stuff you Biden diatribe junkies who would tie me to a chair to watch him push out Bernie Sanders. Say he needs to just accept the loss, have your little celebration. Well, buddy, I don't know about you, but I've got too much love for this misguided nation. So I can't take another president who treats the world like he's a wealthy tourist, just too good to talk to all us Haitians. My only choice should not have to be trading one president who chews at the Achilles heel of race relations, who plays up all our prejudices, fears, and darkest motivations, for one who hands us over to the corporations like we've all been sex trafficked. And I wish that was exaggeration, but it's part nightmare, part fascination. It's mostly fascists saying we're a cushion generation, while they got the funding made to lift you out your station. While you miss your shift at your third job because you can't afford your medication. And now the pain of your mobility is tied into the need to keep afloat and keep your family just beside a devastation. And here's the catch to immunization. You might get to have a say in what they give your baby, but in 20 years your baby better be prepared to pay right through the nose to be inoculated. So don't you be surprised when all your insulin is confiscated, cause someone found a buyer who's prepared to hike the price up even higher. And if you land in a coma, just as well, because you're out the conversation. You're not around to stage a demonstration. You're not around to protest human rights being eliminated. You're not around to protest all these voters being silenced and intimidated. Maybe you can hear it in my intonation. The one man's revolution is another's renovation. One hand better wash the other or it's amputated. God, I hate to be so black and white, but gray has led us straight into the mist and now the lamp is faded. And I don't think that we have very long before the night is falling quicker than anticipated. Quicker than the stocks crashed, quicker than your IRA was withered and emaciated. So why obey the men who solved a crisis that they orchestrated? Why are we so pleased to see a corpse get up and speak that we ignored the way the corpse debated? That he spoke in fragmented misinformation, that he tried to make an honest man's mistake out of a fabrication, and that all the major networks eat it up and tolerate it. So whose side are they on if they can point it out in Trump but act like they don't see it in the man they want to call our savior? Who keeps paying you to do such sick, dishonest labor? Oh shit, we do? No shit, me too? Everything you buy will find a way to own or eat you. Companies that feed you fund agendas to defeat you. Strip your wits away, rip your wick away. Ultimately put you in a place to have to loot to feed your kid today, then detain and beat you. How is such an obvious process not see-through? At least not without a UV light. This year we'll purge our liberties with zero end in sight. So if you can't cast a vote that gives you hope about our plight, if you pick up the pen but in your heart it isn't right, just think about the millions going hungry every night. And have the guts to write in burning, or have the guts to fight. Hear my words but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick so I'm laying down. Hear my words but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick so I'm laying down. I'm laying down. Hear my words, there's no time to spare. We killed democracy, it's rotting in the square. And with its last breath, it cursed the very air with the toxic miasma of class warfare. Convulsions were brief, it seized for a minute, then it ceased to fidget. It was just deep sleep in a citywide gibbet. A lot of sweet nothings like the rations we were given. A film crew followed them into the city limits to document the distribution. A little piece of human interest in the mass confusion. Just some nice shots of a clean white van. Neighbors helping neighbors with their clean white hands. Never mind the boxes being empty like the cans. And never mind a photo op that didn't feed a single man. And this is nothing you can blame on one single man or his supporting an immoral horde of sycophants. We set the stage, we wrote the play, we gave the man a script and highlighted every line he had to say. We're only in this boat because we chose to sail away. We didn't core out the decay, we let it spread. And then we watched the nation warp into the noxious dictatorship it is today. We made conditions perfect. It's almost like we want it this way. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Laying down. And that's Town Hall.
That was Town Hall from the Virus. And thank you, Cynic, for putting that in the chat. And she has the link to the Town Hall in your Bandcamp so that everybody can go and either download that or whatever from the chat. I'm going to try to make sure
It's free.
It is free. JessieJett.bandcamp.com. Go there, hook it up. And leave a tip somewhere. Leave a tip here on Rockfin. Rockfin.com/INN, and I will make sure Jesse gets that tip and we will hook it up. Wow, Town Hall, yeah. I had a lot of thoughts and emotions running through that and hearing again.
I hope you took notes.
It kind of well, there are a lot. I didn't take notes. I just kind of absorbed it because I really hadn't heard that played ever, like that, and that was just wow. Yeah, you got a few things where you just go like you go crazy. It's great. You just go fast and you speed it up and you get all hyped up, and I love it. It's great. And everybody in chat is loving it too. Okay, Cynic, you guys, I got to see Jesse for a whole week. Oh, and we've got Misty's in the house.
I'm making it soon. I promise. The next time I'm down, we are getting on.
Nice.
Is Misty up in here?
Misty is up in here. We've got Reef. We've got E. Heller. We've got Cynic, of course. We've got Charlie. We've got me, of course. We got 11 people watching, so there are some people. Again, Colin's watching. Yo, drop a like. Okay. How do we get 100 chats already? Nice, I like that. Let's do it. We got smear campaign coming up.
Yeah,
love it.
So that is that's right up. That might be the second track on the Virus because like I said, these were the first few songs that I wrote for that record, and everything on there is kind of in the order that I wrote and recorded it. This was again me, as you can tell in Town Hall. I still had some dwindling Bernie hope that I was like, even if you got to write him in, maybe there's a chance. Let's write in Bernie. And and
that's
by the time and I did think about like tweaking those lines when I performed it, but I like trying to be honest about when I've changed my mind on stuff, because even like on the Virus, I'm still paying attention to CDC directives. I'm still paying attention to what I thought was taking taking one for the team, taking one for the greater good. And I was on board for a while until I was realizing like this isn't making any difference, and we're just kind of being forced into these positions, especially with my Bernie opinions. I like being able to, even through this record, hearing me start to have my mind change and see things differently by the end of the album compared to the start of it. And I like being able to document my progression in beliefs from record to record. And so yeah, I've kind of made a rule with myself that the only thing I change is body counts when I have to use a body count. If it's different and it warrants being referenced in its current form, then I will do it. So yeah, I recently listened back through The Virus and kind of looking for some good Biden pieces. And I realized I've never read this or performed it in any capacity other than recording it. And I think same with the next one. So this is a smear campaign off of The Virus.
Love it.
You got text ready to roll?
I do have text ready to roll, and we're going to shoot that right now. All right. Here's smear campaign, and let me actually do this. Let me see if I can go F11. Oh, wrong thing, wrong here. Let's do that. F11. No, it's not going to work. Full screen. Can I do full screen? View. No, zoom. It's not going to do that. Full screen. It's not going to let me do full screen. Just viewing mode, which I'm already in. Okay. We're good.
Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, this is smear campaign. How quickly our voices went mute. How quickly we went from the top of the food chain to looting the orchard for low-hanging fruit. Scavengers happy to pick at the flesh on a corpse in a suit. And the corpse knows the game, so he plays it in spades, because that's just what you do. He was born in the blight, and it whitened him right to the rot in his root. He'll be happy to help us along to the farms where livestock comes out of a tube, where the berries are bluer than nature saw fit to make blue, where they patted themselves on the back when they mimicked the flavor of actual fruit, regardless that during the process they wasted it pound after pound in relentless pursuit. All the better to sweeten the medicine they can provide when your doctor assigns a disorder to you. That pain in your gut is the burden of proof. This is the weight of the truth. Now, how can you face me and say that this isn't a sign of disorder to you? We don't have long till the measures they take at our borders are put into place down the corner from you, where you huddle and pray, where you work, where you stay, where your kids go to school. And all the I told you so's I'll be entitled to scream will never live up to the dream when you can't tell the difference between a brutal regime and government rule. These are the triumphs of man. Wait, no, these are the follies of fools. We are the many, so we are the powerful. Wait, no, neutered and caged, we live the life of a shark in a pool. Studied, provoked, and contained, brimming with rage that simmers and cools at the hint of a glittering jewel, 'cause money is the ticket to get in the gate. Money's the food on the plate. Everyone paid to play. Money determines what we won't allow you to say. Money dictates the path to fame. Money's the factor deciding how quickly you get to the grave. Also the site of your grave. Also the lead in your water, and whether we think that you ought to take action or think that it's probably safe. And I bet you the darker the shade of your neighbor's face, the greater the chance of delay, greater the chance that they leave you to find your own way. Pull yourself up by the strap of your boots and wish all of your poverty, debt, and depression away. Pick up a hobby or turn to your faith. And that's easy to say when you have the weight of the whole pharmaceutical industry helping you trample the peasants who speak against what you create, what you support, who you obey. What graphic back-scratching brought us to this shameful place? What bloated lobbying resigned us to this hateful state? I, for one, will not accept a copy, watered down or not, of the embarrassment that holds our present office. I will not support a rambling idiot to lead us with a shred of promise. And I will not endorse a lecherous, decrepit, aimless husk who answers every tough question with a rude comment. How is all this irony not hitting his supporters like a fucking comet? That this is Diet Trump at best, but with an extra dash of chemical corruption in his pockets. See, in reality, you cannot fight a fire with a fire because it doesn't stop it. You cannot fight a liar with a liar who is just a normal liar and not a master bullshit artist. We're gonna miss the simple days of being livestock when suddenly the farmer tells us all along that we're the crops and it's the day of harvest. And I would rather rot and spoil than be taken to the market. And I heard that the farmer makes a killing when the yield is unfulfilling, so it's better business sense to throw us all into the garbage. I'm Joe Biden. I approved your collar and the gash in your retirement, took your CBD away and swapped out OxyContin for your vitamins. I will lead you back into the blaze like a rewound fireman. Vote for me if you want things the way they used to be before we cared for the environment. Deeper down the rabbit hole of corporate entitlement. And into the abyss of I'll take anything but this. If that's what you call choice, I choose denying it. Into the abyss of I'll take anything but this. God, if that's what you call choice, I choose denying it. That's smear campaign.
Damn, man. That's again, it's dark, but I love it. And again, money, the whole thing. Money's the ticket. Money's the food on the plate, the side of your grid, the lead in your water. I mean, the way you just go at Flint, and how again that there's no solution other than to pray and pull and bootstraps, and you just you nail it.
And that's the crazy thing is like that was a couple years ago. It's like how many times since then I'm looking at it and like that's just the go-to, bootstrap, fucking all that, all the same horse shit. Like, thank you guys. It's so nice to have you guys here. Like vacation was great, but it's so nice to be back and see the fam. Love you guys. And you know what's funny, Charlie, that you said that, because I was just looking at the next piece, and it was the next piece I wrote, and it is more possible to get more angry at Joe, because the next piece, I'm like, woof. So it was literally after smear campaign. A couple days later, I'm like, yep, here we're doing more of the same shit. They're getting Joe Biden, drug up and dolled up, and people were dropping out, and watching people wrap around buildings in the pouring rain to try to vote during the height of the pandemic. It was just unreal. And especially seeing some of those places just close early, or their numbers just fucking change in the middle of the night, or literally on screen take this giant flip-flop. There's just so much fuckery. And essentially the DNC saying, we're allowed to pick our candidate by any means we want. If we want to roll dice, if we want to throw it at a dartboard, if we want to, read tea leaves, they can do that. And any suspicion I had about flaws in the process were all confirmed by that. So this was me watching right after the Biden campaign said, people should go ahead and get out and vote. It's totally safe. And of course, Bernie was like, don't push it. We want people to survive, not vote. And watching the primaries unfold, I wrote this. This is also off the virus. This is primary. Oh, I guess I should wait for you to get text rolling. Sorry, I'm just diving right in. Oh, Indy, did you have to boogie? Are you with me? Oh my God, I think we lost him.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. I just hit mute. Oh. No, I said I'm so busy putting chats up on screen that I forgot to put the primary up. We're good primary. Okay, and now let's put primary up for everybody else. Hey, there we go. Okay, now let me turn off the chats, and you're good. Primary, and I'll
shout out to Jett. It's nice to see a new face. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming, Jett.
Okay, yeah, this is primary. I'm Joe Biden. I have no empathy. I have low immunity, but I will lure the last of you to vote and maybe die with impunity. Because I have zero moral purity. Every scene you're dead just means less people bitching when I got Social Security. Vote for me if you're okay with that and you can stomach that absurdity. Cast your vote and cast all your humanity aside and never bat an eye at caravans of homeless walking by because they're comprised of someone else's fucking tragedies. I can host the masterclass of sedentary rhetoric and teach you how to cast a flaccid masterpiece. Half of me is fast asleep, the other half is buzzing with the dying hum of treachery. But every now and then I pop awake to pull some good old-fashioned family-friendly lechery. You know, the kind you find yourself explaining to your daughter when she says, I have to tell you what he said to me. And justify away a man's behavior because he's old and you've been told he's more an ally than an enemy. Well, I refuse to watch the DNC attempt to force our hand faster than Joe's fingers in the 70s. And hell, maybe well into his 70s.
Now, fact is fact, and allegations aren't the centerpiece, but I've seen footage that undoubtedly presents to me a man who's unafraid to grope a woman standing with her family, a man who's unashamed to sniff a child's hair but claims morality, and yet a man who's scared to death of single payer, a man in bed with fucking walking tumor billionaires. And forget about leadership. I'm not even seeing any faculties be demonstrated, but I really get a kick out of Uncle Joe having this technology be forced upon him, because he of all people needs to know just how it feels to be digitally penetrated. He of all people needs to know how it feels to be a voter purged from the roll who'd rather die in the streets with a sign than in line at the polls. And maybe I'm a little out of touch. I'm 31 years old. But you can bet that I'll be voting with my conscience because I have a fucking soul. That's primary.
Dude, digitally penetrated. That's an interesting play on words. And who would have known when you wrote that? INN member, sister of ours, and friend, and everyone we love, Tara Reid. Just wow.
Yep. Well, that was I had just we just kind of become aware of Tara's situation, and it was, I think, shortly after this that I first spoke to her. I met Tara about halfway through the process for the virus, because I talked about it for the first time in the next piece I'm doing off of the virus, which is Look Fat. And every time I recorded this song, I would get to the Tara Reid part and get so mad that I would clip into the mic really bad. Like the vocals were just way too loud, and I couldn't do it without doing that. So that's how it is. The vocals are super clippy at that point, and I couldn't do it and actually like sincerely perform that song and not fucking scream at that part. So I'm gonna try my best tonight because Fox is sleeping, but no promises. Luckily, that first hour and a half, he's usually sleeping hard. He's down for the count. So
nice, love it.
Okay,
all right. I've got look.
So yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I couldn't help when I saw that clip of him say that to the guy. Look, fat. You don't have to vote for me if you don't. Whatever.
How many push-ups?
The opening was.
How many push-ups
Yeah,
can you do? Doesn't he challenge him to a push-up contest? I'm almost positive he does. Oh, there is the signature apple. Jesse, and if for everyone who doesn't know, Jesse smokes out of an apple. His preferred method to smoke is out of an apple.
It's true.
It's the natural way. And you can eat it afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Biodegradable. All right, here we go.
This is the guitar one, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, then I can switch to you playing. Badass.
All right. I was telling Indy before we started, gang, that I've run into incidents every time I've tried to do this song, and I'm feeling really good about it tonight. So let's hope it actually works out. Off of the virus. This is Look Fat.
Look fat, I don't work for you. I'm not sorry that my policies don't work for you. That sucks about your cough, but there's work to do. Gotta reopen the shop, gotta just push through. 2 jars of bleach, pick one you lose. 2 jars of bleach, which one do you choose? When neither gives a shit about you or shares your views or cares if you can't pay for food. Get a firm grip on the straps of your boots. Get a good look at the last of the fruit. Get your good book, cause you can't buy booze. Honey, take heart, cause the dead don't bruise. And so a bit about me. I don't believe in God, right? That said, I'll be praying on debate night. Joe can't speak right. See, you can call me petty, but I really want to see him bring a knife to the dogfight, where each mutt stuffed a blunderbuss up into his canines, and they could pull right up alongside Joe in broad goddamn daylight and maul his broadside. Cause Joe's gonna fold up the sails and stick the cannons all out the wrong side. And I'm not saying he and only he solely represent the wrong side. I'm saying both parties work to keep us hogtied, and that we have been immobilized and fed upon steadily for such a long time that we're too weak to see that it could ever have been otherwise. Don't focus on our nominees' laundry list of rape accusals, focus on the other guys. Focus on the other side, focus on the Tiger King. Look, there's a firefly. Now what were you saying, Tara Reid? Oh, she's an actress, right? She was in a film called A Pattern of Unwanted Hugs and Touches from a Man That You Trusted, right? And in the end, when she finds out her boss was just another piece of shit, she felt betrayed and then disgusted, right? And he goes on to live his life, run for office, keep his wife, and nobody discussed it, right? Yeah, I've seen the film 100 fucking times. I've seen the film 100 fucking times. Now see, there's 2 jars of bleach on a table. You pick either one and you lose. 2 jars of bleach on a table. Go exercise your right to choose. And that is Look Fat.
2 jars of bleach or half a bowl of shit on a table, man. That's all I can think, man. That's all I can think the whole time I read that was, oh my God, that's Nina right there. 2 jars of bleach. Ah! That's brilliant. I love it. So good.
Oh man.
Again, as somebody who is pretty close to Tara, this hits me well and hard and again, love that woman to pieces, and she's working so hard, seriously. And she's and her channels and everything are growing. If you can support her in any way, go to linktr.ee/Tara Reid. That's READE. Throw a couple bucks on Cash App. The heck with PayPal, because they're starting to shut down any content creators, and I'm a little worried that they're going to do that to her too. So we want to try to hook her up other ways. Yep. She's got a Rockfin channel too, rockfin.com/Tara Reid, and you can leave her tips there also, and she gets that as well. And every dollar right now helps. And again, we're all struggling out there as content creators to survive, and people who aren't who don't have any other job and any other means of income. This is what they're doing, and it's rough. Everybody's struggling. So anyone that has a couple bucks, definitely we appreciate. But and of course this guy Jesse too. If you again go to rockfin.com/INN, we're now monetized for any news network. We do have a Patreon as well. We don't really advertise it. We're here for everybody else. This is for the fans. This is for us to monetize, to collaborate and share stuff together. And the monetization will take care of itself in time. But again, we just appreciate everybody's support, everybody being around, and this is great stuff. So the next one is a song title that is near and dear. Right.
Yeah, so and this title is kind of indicative of a little side project that got away from me, with a few other songs that I intend to connect to a theme in these lyrics. Hey Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And you know what? This might be a great thing for me and Crab to do together, actually, because this might be right up his alley. But I mentioned in the lyrics of this piece, the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions. And I really wanted to have a few songs with this kind of concept album theme where, like, the government obtains this ancient satanic amulet, and it's too powerful to exist on its own. So they split it into several pieces, and they put one in Joe Biden. They put one in Strom Thurmond. They put one in Dick Cheney's pacemaker. And there's like a song surrounding each one. Obviously that got put on the back burner. And then once I ran out of burner space, it got put back in the fridge for a while. So the subtitle for this, mainly because I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan, is Jett and the Case of the Cursed Medallion.
Awesome.
But this was the one that I lost an awful lot of sanity points having to cut this clip out. And I had to do it again today because I thought I had it as a sample, but I recorded it as just a vocal track. So when I wanted to use it tonight in this spoken word piece, I needed to go through and find it again. It was a blessing in disguise because the sample that I use of Joe Biden here, I end his infamous whisper clip with the line, a Democratic president wants 100,000 cops. And had I let it go a little further after his, this is the whole bit where he says that that's the secret. And he gets all weird and whispery. After he says about the cops, he says a Democratic president wants to build 125,000 jail cells. And then he yells, that's the secret.
Oh my
and
God.
I never knew he did that until today. And like, I want to re-record the song so badly now because I fucking want it in there. But I'm going to have to settle for tonight as I do this spoken word for the first time with Joe Biden as my little companion. We're going to include, we're going to close out instead of just the clip that I used before, the actual continuation of his speech. 1993, defending his crime bill.
Love it.
This is, yeah. Here we go. This is convention.
All right, let's. Oh, we're doing convention now, not redacted. Okay, so sorry, I got convention.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Jesse did. Oh, Case of Cursed Medallion. There we go.
Yep. Here we go.
Now it makes more sense.
Because guess what? What has every major crime bill that's gotten this far been? A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic crime bill. That's the secret. A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops.
Now, I guess in the end that it's just a crapshoot. Who denounces the true you versus who backs you? Knowing you would skin the poor to make a tracksuit. Knowing you'd begin a few wars if your overlords asked you. Knowing that the ink's not dry on the last few. And knowing that your voters aren't living in a goddamn vacuum. We see through you, Joe. We see past you. Joe, we know you only want to kick trans folks out the bathrooms. Spittle up some dreck about family values.
That's the secret.
Take away our weed and then say that we just need Valium. Joe Biden, patron saint of Big Pharma, knows no karma, and all of our media paints him as valiant. But I'm here to tell you the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions, a dead battalion, their eyes blood red with a lust for the violence of racial injustice.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. And it's maybe not a song you would dance to, but something of substance. Something in place that can warn you when liberals lie and they're looking you straight in the eye and they say you can trust us.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. Now, maybe you didn't get what I meant. This is not a political event. It's the winter of our discontent. Half of us will not make rent. I might burn my masters just to keep warm. Big white lies. No silver lining under smoke gray skies. And all of the streets ran red, but the blood sure kept our feet warm. So vote for the wolf or the wolf in sheep form. Defund police before we're all deformed. Take our free speech, we could speak in the tongues of C4, because our lungs need more to send us packing than tear gas thrown from the hands of fascists who kill their cams and take off their badges, all while Biden and Kamala fund our assassins and offer us nothing but platitudes. They'll tell us go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes. Well, Joe, fuck you to death and the donors you fed us to. Go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes.
A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops. A Democratic president wants to build 125,000 new prison cells. That's the secret.
Oh my god. That's the secret, huh? Oh, okay. I did not know that was the secret, but apparently that's the secret.
What a sadist.
Oh,
man. Damn.
RLA's in the house. Okay, we got all the best people here. Warren's here. Jimmy's here. We got Misty still hanging out. This is so cool. Okay, so yeah. I'm used to that. You know, the melody behind
right?
Behind convention. I think we might even played it to start before this. And just so cool.
Which I'm glad we did. I like that.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit. And I love hearing the acoustic and the difference between the two. So let's go back and we'll set up the next one, which is Redacted.
Yeah, gonna be Redacted. Yes,
and
sir.
is that spoken or you play that?
It is spoken.
Nice. So we're gonna go back to our presentation mode. All right.
This will be fun. This is a short one, but a fun one. This is so see, convention was off of inauguration gift, so that was my first Biden piece written once he was a sure thing, once he was our president-elect. And this and these next two pieces actually are going to be off of War Crime Jams to Pork 2, which is just this last September. So once we've had our fill of the Biden presidency and so far and seen what he's capable of.
Blue Trump? I mean, pretty much Blue Trump and a lot of gaslighting, and now it's going to be election season is going to be a blast. It's already kicking off, and it's come on guys, now we're going to have hearings, and we're going to re-traumatize the nation, but we're not going to recommend any criminal anything. So what exactly was the point of this again, except to remind people, hey, this is what happened like a year and a half ago, and yeah, it took a while for people to get over it. We gave the cops a bunch of money, but we want you to relive that and remember that. So that's what we're going to do.
Pretty much.
Thanks for that.
So yeah, in this song, I anytime I said the word redacted, I censored it out. And so I'm going to do the same tonight. So yeah, off of War Crime Jams to Pork 2. This is Redacted.
Beautiful.
The light of truth has been refracted. Pardon me, I guess you've been distracted. I assumed you didn't see, or else you would have acted. Now all your concerns and dying words will be
redacted.
They snuck the censors in behind the mileage taxes. It's new school tactics put into action by some old school fascist who they portray iconoclastic. So keep the Black Lives Matter off your Twitter banner if you proudly voted for a man who's been a Jim Crow bigot since the end of the Jurassic. Joe wrote all the classics. Joe designed a crime bill with 80-something reasons you deserve a fate that's just the side of gassing. Wrote the book on lechery and passing. Half his works were plagiaries, the other half inspired by the Klan's grandmasters. Joe's in bed with all those ancient racist bastards. And he has been their golden boy since Thurman walked the earth, and will be feeling all of the effects of his societal disasters for a century beyond the day he finally does the decent thing and fucks fully off to the hereafter. And I hope I've been wrong about religion all along, and the fate awaiting Biden smells of strong sulfuric acid. But knowing Biden, hell may prove to be the more impacted. I bet you this will be the one that gets
redacted.
See the windows closing as you try to let some light in. You're fighting for
redacted.
And the enemy is silence. Every man's a garbage patch. No man is an island. And there's never been a bigger piece of shit than Joe.
Redacted.
I love the Wheel of Fortune when it's the RA and the ISC, the IST with the blank space, and like people they don't know which one to pick, the C or the P.
Yeah, yep. Exactly.
Redacted. That's great. Charlie Mack, everybody's clapping. Best title of an album ever. Misty saying yes, definitely. I concur, 100%. Everyone go listen to Misty on TNT Radio. This is the last week of this format, but she's gonna have awesome new shows coming out soon. We're excited for her and appreciate all the time. I'm actually going to be on TNT Radio on Friday at, I think it's 3 o'clock hour in Eastern. Can't wait to do that. I love going on and shooting the shit with her and talking about censorship and talking about what's happening with network and what's happening with Assange case and what's happening with all the press freedom cases that are happening, as well as all the political prisoners and truth tellers out there, and who's getting demonetized, who's getting deplatformed. It's basically like deplatforming today. Maybe that's the new format for the show, Misty. It's
deplatformed du jour.
Who got deplatformed today? Maybe that's it. So you're gonna play Effigies now. I know we've got Effigies and we got one more. But go ahead.
My music nerd in me. This is one of my favorite songs of mine from a production standpoint, because when I go into the kind of quieter last movement of this song, I swapped out my synth and bass parts and had them play each other, and it's just such a cool transition. The drums kind of drop down to just some little side stick, and it's kind of a more laid back, use some upright bass, kind of fretless bass tones and like full chords, and I just really I love this instrumental so much. And yeah, I've never I don't think I've ever even done this spoken word, but tonight I wanted to actually put a little melody with it. So yeah, off of War Crime Jams to Pork, War Crime Jams to Pork 2. This is Effigies.
Crammed in tight like refugees, sprouting on my spite into effigies of Joe and the rest of these feckless molesters, trimming up hedge funds out of what's left of our destinies. And now he'll dole out a loan from our own tax refunds. He's dumb enough to believe he impressed me. But man, if child poverty was a test and you got 50%, that is not some success to me. But your victory lapping with an ice cream truck, which is really just the peak of his pedo Joe shit show of irony. Go and fly the flag high enough to call the fleet. Bring them to the center of the spectacle, right into the eye of the Odyssey. You can witness those who rape the earth, consistently protected under policy that we will never have the chance to read before we fall asleep. But I can hear the bullfrogs calling me and telling me our purpose should be stringing up the heads of every oligarch for all to see. Mount them on the tallest trees, point at all the CEOs like we defunded all of these. This is me in purest form, speaking to you honestly. Speaking through the tears, may they force you to acknowledge me. See, when they seat you at the table, you get options. One is playing ball. The other is an all-expenses trip where the piranhas feed. This is me in purest form, exuding something similar to sauna steam. Forge my fury right into the sonic stream. I have zero fucking truck for incremental measures or political idolatry. All these people vying for your 27 grassroots units worth $1 week. All too proud to wear your issue prominently on their sleeve, but only long enough to rock a photo up. And then they drop it from their speeches because you gave them all the optics they could ever need. When they tell you that you really need to wait and you don't understand the game, what they really mean to say is they can't wrap their greedy little fucking brains around a fight for what you know you'll probably never see. But what would you expect from people warped by a life spent hunched, sucking money from the debt machine? What would you expect from someone constantly reminding you that they are not your enemy? Hi, Jen. White-collar criminals who know the only punishment they're ever gonna face is a handshake, a steak, and a tall glass of clemency. Ask you what a check for what they make in half a day would mean to you and yours, and then drink the tragic story down like Hennessy. Sometimes you gotta break 500,000 people all to make a human omelet to feed to an economy that needs a little energy. Stepping out their limousine and over 500,000 corpses just to hang the banner like America is back and we've been editing our history. We sterilized it whiter than a bleach-backed double shot of Listerine. All those bloody little handprints rinse out in the simple green. Now look at how the shining little city on a hill is newly primed for the kill and is hideously glistening. Thirsting for the gristle of the working class, all the muscle, all the fat, all the single parents we peel off the mat, all their kids prepped for an early death and primed for imprisoning. All up to date on active shooter protocol and well aware that no one's really listening. Cause Biden's here to dunk your little deer into an oil drum and consummate the christening. We'll contemplate the weight of how we're just too late to save after Kamala has risen and the bell outside the mission rings. She'll know your location and be tracking your positioning. And all because a tweet that showed that you don't accept their conditioning. Now you're sitting at a bunker that they swear you're only visiting. And once you've been re-educated, you can be released and have a pretty little blue check. You can commemorate all the trauma we inflicted in the name of socialism's re-envisioning. Now Kamala is risen and the bell outside the mission rings. The cognitive dissonance will set your hopes to blistering. She's walking through the West Wing whistling. America is back and hailing Kissinger, a living king. But America's failing every living thing. America's failing every living thing.
And that's Effigies.
All right, now I had my mic muted, so now we're back. Effigies, and that was off of again.
Shout out to Jen.
This again is War Crime Jams to Pork 2. Shout out to Jen. And
Jen FL23. I don't know if anyone for those who aren't familiar with you remember her stream when she kept the whole reparations thing when she cut
Effigie and Compton J. Oh yeah.
Yep. Effigie off. And she kept saying, we're not your enemy. We're not the enemy. We're not the enemy. And like once you say that, like one time is a red flag, but she was just firing them off, like just burst fire. And yeah, so right after that I had to throw that in. So
it was like a speech impediment. And those people. I mean, just those people. The minute I went, those people went,
God, yeah, the whole thing,
Reef, we better record this now because that's coming down. And sure enough, we went back, we recorded it, and sure enough, it was coming down. But we have it. So sorry, Jen.
Oh God.
INN's policy, all Jens kind of suck. And I'm sorry, Jen, if your name's Jen, but that's been our experience on the left so far. Prove me wrong. I'd love to.
Our next stream is going to be the open auditions for decent gens. So
nice, I love it.
Come on through.
That's a great album title.
Right, I do think our next episode is going to be a Nancy one. We're going to be all Pelosi next episode, so it's going to be a hoot.
Oh, who are these people? Oh, by the way, Franco said he loves that who are these people in the outro that Big Mad Crab and you collaborated on for the INN outros for the videos, and everyone's their fire and
awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So we've got one more to go tonight, and we're gonna get into some TDS. It's a spoken word piece, right? Trump era hashtags, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this is off of the Coming of Spring which was the spoken word album.
Nice. Okay, so I've got it all queued up, and hashtag
All right.
TCOS. I like that. That's what the Coming of Spring stands for. I get it now. Makes more sense. Love it.
All right. Yeah, let's do this.
We're the ones who donated so you can win the race, then turn around and make the cash grab. And then we turn around and thank you for the backstab. Only have to change the names on Trump era hashtags to hashtag Biden lied, people died, hashtag Biden built the wall, and hashtag Biden is a fascist. That one's gonna get a workout this summer every gas attack. Every time they kettle you and rush you in a charging armored mass attack. And the last thought that you have before your head hits the ground, splits, shatters, and then bounces back is how much they deducted for that body armor just before they gave your measly taxes back. This is war, and that's a fact. This is more than Biden gets to fix by saying riot bad, white terror good, and sending you away with a little bit of placid satisfaction thinking that was that. But that was far from that. That was far from making 500,000th of a fraction of a surface scratch. That was only muddying the waters of your scrying pools, grind a little gravel on your looking glass, so that when all the truth is bare, it is but an empty air and 1,000-yard stare with which we're looking past. And all it took for me was one classic Biden speech to know there's nothing I won't put him past. Be it jacking up your insulin, or caging every immigrant, or threatening the victims of his sex offense and smearing them to try and get his footing back. Biden is a war crime veteran who's dropped the bomb on better men, and all for only Lockheed Martin's benefit. So please don't try to paint his bitter bigotry as something tame, like he was just a grumpy grandpa bitching for his pudding back. Unity and solidarity to Joe Biden means a meeting where the hoods are black. Which, if it's representative of anything, it's just the executioner who lives to swing the axe and never once has thought of looking back. And some need never fear the axe, who still possess a hope chest with the wood intact. The same who swear they'd never march with all those nasty fascists, but they would in fact. The same who say they'd never cheer a journalist who's being tortured for exposing war crimes each of us should deem important, but they would in fact. The same who say they wouldn't call the cops on every unassuming black teenager they see walking down their block, but they would in fact. Biden said he wouldn't, so you voted when you shouldn't, because he would in fact.
And that's our Joe Biden episode, ladies and gentlemen.
God damn.
Roll credits.
Okay, so okay, that was definitely like the body blow. You know, the Reef would come up with that. I gotta do an Ed Lee mock here with the cross punch, but that was definitely a combination knockout punch into a right cross, and that dude is on the ground. Good night, Joe. Sleepy Joe. And Jill's gonna have to wake you up and give you a little shake and put you to bed after some Ovaltine. Damn, dude.
As Steve Morgan would say, he's gonna need some of the unvaxxed kid adrenochrome.
Oof. I mean, the same who say they wouldn't call the cops.
I think he calls it. Yep.
On every unassuming black teenager, but you did in fact. Actually, is what I wanted to yell. Not just they would, but you did in fact. So goddamn, man, that's just. I needed the catharsis of getting some of this nonsense out, and to hear all this, I totally appreciate and love you. And this is so fun.
Love you too, dude. Seriously, it's such a blast. So 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be doing some Nancy Pelosi.
So, we're gonna roast Crab. Get ready for a Nancy's thumbnail. Oh boy. Man. Oh. Okay, and we're gonna talk about some Paul corruption. I'm sure we're gonna talk a little bit about the legacy and Ukraine. We're gonna talk a little bit about, oh boy, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
See, what I know off the top of my head, I know we'll be doing Speaker of the House Sunday morning, number 40. And
good morning, Sunday morning.
Played out and Through the Eyes. That'll be my first occasion to do Through the Eyes. Which I might have to use the dulcimer, because that's what I recorded that song on. It's probably super out of tune, but
so I could try to do the whole thing on this.
It's like a
See how
lute,
that
it's like a
works.
lute, right? Is that that's what it reminds me of.
Well, that's a dulcimer. It's supposed to be played like with a slide, like.
Oh, dude.
But it's super fun if you hold it up like this and just do your like Renaissance-y shit with it, or make it sound like a. I was going for God, what's the Greek instrument called? That Greek instrument. That's what I was going
Sure,
for.
that Greek thing.
Yep, I do that all the time when I'm drinking.
It's got a very sublime vibe there to that.
Yeah, right.
and I definitely heard some 8 Mile Eminem type of cadence and lyrics tonight in a couple of things.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where or when. It's all going so fast I can't write it down and keep up with chat. Everybody's having a blast. And again, we had Misty and Jade Star. We picked up a couple new people, Warren, Jimmy. All the families here. This is going to cut up beautifully, and we'll have some nice tracks.
Man,
you know,
thank you guys so much. Seriously, always so much fun.
Reeve came up with a really good idea, and I don't think it's such a bad one either. And he's talking something about a Spotify type of channel, and it may not be Spotify, but some type of INN music receptacle for everyone that produces, because we've got in the family, we've got you, and we've got Crab, we've got Reef. We got Chris Legion, who just came out with an album. I don't know anyone else who produces music in the network at this point, but it may behoove us to try to secure something to give everyone, just kind of like we have a central place for everyone to upload their content on, for Substack and YouTube and all the videos.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool to have an INN audio studio and podcast channel.
Seriously, bye, Misty.
That's pretty badass stuff. So again, thank you so much for everybody who's here. Thank you for Jesse Jett for asking me to be here and to do this again. This is a total pleasure to do this every 2 weeks. We'll be back on June 28th, episode 4 with the Nancy Pelosi roast. We're going to tear her a new one next. I can't wait. And again, this has been this will be episode 5, actually. It'll be Nancy. This was episode 4. Yeah. We're roasting Joe Biden for American Tradition with Jesse Jett, an exclusive Indie News Network show. You can only get this on youtube.com/Indie News Network or rockfin.com/INN. And again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night, everybody.